Hi guys, this is Seth the Real and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have done an application with our recruiter and you have been successful, well, congratulations. So the next step normally is a phone interview. Oh my god, so exciting. Now I know that sometimes this step is skipped and sometimes it's just you just have a short call to arrange a face-to-face interview. But I would say that the bigger the organization, the most probable is that you will have to face a phone interview. If you are like me, you will probably be excited and terrified. So take a deep breath and prepare for it. The first thing I recommend to do is for you to prepare the environment. And with that I'm not referring to light a scented candle and put petal roses on a bath. It's too early for that, darling. The best thing to do will be to set a time and date with the company. That's going to be tricky because the first thing to do is to set a time and a date with the company. A time that you know you're going to be free, that you're going to be comfortable, and that you're going to have some privacy. Now, I know that's going to be tricky because your schedule, to match your schedule with the schedule from the company you are having an interview with, it's going to be quite complicated. I'm aware of that. So you will have to make an effort. You might not have all the ideal conditions to prepare yourself and do the phone interview, but I recommend you to do it on your earliest convenience, mainly because they are interviewing other people. And I'm not saying that they're going to be better than you, but if they feel that they have enough candidates, then they might not want to proceed with your application. So yeah, it's better if you do it as soon as possible. It is likely that you have to take notes during the interview, so I recommend that you have a laptop and a notebook and a pen. And ideally you should be alone and in a room isolated from the noise. But you will say, "Oh, Cesc, I'm a very busy person and I don't have time to make such preparations." Well, excuse me, Miss Thing. I'm talking, of course, in ideal terms. I've been in situations in which I had to squeeze a phone interview between meetings. There are different things that you can do to, squeeze that phone interview in your very busy schedule. For instance, you can book a room at your company, and this way you'll be isolated and alone in a room and do the phone interview there. Or if that's not possible, then you can use a break to go to your car and have the phone interview in your car. And if you don't have a car, you can always walk away, go for a walk away from the building and from noise and nosy people. And in the best cases, if you are allowed to work from home from time to time, you can just tell your boss that you're going to be working from home, and you can do the phone interview in the comfort of your home.
Hello, who is this?
Hi Colin, we had today arranged an interview.
Sorry mate, I totally forgot. This is definitely not a good moment.
Listen, I'm interviewing other candidates, so we really need to do it now.
Listen, I had a very long day. If we don't do anything soon, I'm going to...
Right, the next thing is for you to prepare the content of the interview. Now, what do I mean by the content? Let's say it's an exercise that you will have to do internally of things that are probable that are going to be treated during the interview. So, print a copy of the job spec and then print a copy of your CV. Have them side by side. And now what you have to do is to do a match exercise. You will have to make sure that all the things that are included on the job spec, you have them on your CV. And there's things that will be easy to match because they might even have the same exact words, but some of those might be tricky. So I recommend that you take your curriculum and you write the justification on it. So if you're asked for them, you can tell them how you comply to them. What if you don't comply to something? Well, in that case, you will have to tell them what your plans are to comply to it, or how do you plan to compensate. It's always good to have a plan. They really value that.
Tony, what time is it?
It's 10:05.
Jolly moly, I'm late for my interview.
When you do the phone interview, they will probably ask you that you drive them through your CV. And that's great. That's a good chance for you to talk about yourself. And we all love to talk about ourselves. Well, most of us. Just go through it, highlight your tasks and achievements, and they will probably, as you go, they will probably ask you questions about the things that you say. So just, answer them, and it shouldn't be tricky. The complication comes when they come up with what I call tricky questions. Most of people get quite uncomfortable with what I call tricky questions. Most of people get uncomfortable with what I call tricky questions, like, why did you leave that job? This question is tricky for two main reasons. On one hand, you may not want to say bad things about your previous company and just throw shit. This question might be tricky for two main reasons. The first one is because you might not want to talk bad things about the company that you used to work for. The second thing is you might have been made redundant. If you left the company because you were not happy, there are ways to do it without just throwing shade all over it. Like, for instance, you can tell them that you were looking for honing your skills somewhere else, or that you reached the limit of your career progression in that company, and so the only way for you to do so was to move somewhere else. If you were made redundant from a company, don't panic. Most of the time it's not your fault. Redundancies is the way companies used to put some makeup on their numbers. So you can say that perhaps they decided to focus on reducing the headcount of a specific department, or you can say that they were concentrating on reducing the headcount of a specific demographic. Like, I don't know, many companies, they target newcomers, the people that have been working the least on the company because it's cheaper for them. Many times, and depending whether the interviewer had their morning coffee or not, they will think they know better and they will decide to question certain aspects of your career. If it's related to a job or a company, you can easily deviate the bullet by saying that was the process and the policy from your company and you had little room to deviate for that. If it's related to your training or education, you can easily say that time and money played a big factor and you were not able to afford on those terms to go through it. You can also say that how you're intending to compensate for it, or I don't know, maybe that could be a great opportunity for you to have a company pay for additional training and even allow you to do it on working hours. What do you know about our company? Companies think that if you have been applying for a job with them, it's because they are the most important company in the world and you should know everything about them. When in reality, it is probable that you just heard the name for the first time a week ago. Make sure that before you go to any shape of interview, you do a bit of research. I would say that for a phone interview, if you dedicate 30 minutes to look around Google or on their website, that should be fine. And you should be looking for things like their offering, what products they're offering, in which locations they are based, for news and articles that they have been publishing recently, and of course their unique selling points. That's very important. Just give them a generic answer based on what you have seen on the website. Just don't get into too much detail into it, and you can even have it written down in a piece of paper. But try not to make any questions at this stage. They will find it a bit pretentious. Do you have any questions for us? Now here is open season, honey. I recommend that you ask around 2 or 3 questions. Now here you can ask them questions about the company. Just try not to be pretentious. I recommend also asking about the team that you're going to be working with and also about the work culture. That's something that it will be interesting for you, and they will also love to talk about it because it's like the identity of the company. Ideally, if there is anything else that has not been yet discussed with the recruiter, you can always ask them and try to compare if the information that the recruiter gave you is the correct one. They might not know the answer because they might not be people from HR or people that know about the job profile, but they might as well do, and it's always a good chance for you to compare that, your notes.
Why didn't you do a master's in business administration?
I had to start working as soon as I finished my degree.
Well, you should have it. But I'm currently finishing it. Oh no, you're finishing it now. Wait for me. Ow, ow, eat, ow, ow, eat, ow.
Okay guys, this is it for now, so thanks very much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter on @SaysTheReal. Don't forget to subscribe and to give some thumbs up into this video. And that's it. Yes, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.